SNL was funny this weekend with her. Yes, it was good. What about Mariah Carey? Let's talk about Mariah Carey.
So
wait, before we talk about this story, I want to talk about another one. Then we can talk about your story because I wanted to mention the fact that I read today something about Mariah Carey not taking care of her sister who has HIV and is dying, has spinal problem, needs spinal and brain surgery, and refuses to give her any money because they're like estranged or something. And her brother, she's also estranged from him too. They both say she's a big old witch. They call her a witch, is what she said, a big witch bitch or something like that. And do you think that's true?
I've heard that in the past that she didn't have a good relationship with her siblings because there's been posts like I've seen like on BuzzFeed and stuff, and it's like 10 celebrities who don't help out their family or whatever. Yeah. And I remember her being on there. But I think honestly, I feel like if you're estranged, regardless of what's going through my bloodstream, what's going through your bloodstream, if we haven't spoken 10 years, why do I owe you money?
I don't think she owes it to them at all. And I agree with that sentiment. However, this is what I think. If I had, like, for example, I can't stand my father and I can't stand him, he's a horrible person, whatever. But if he, and I don't talk to him, in no relationship with him, but if I had $500 million, $500 million, like she does, and he needed brain surgery and came to me and said, I just don't have the money, can you please help me? I would do it because I'm a compassionate human being. Not because I owe it to him, but because I have $500 million and he needs the fucking surgery, and you know what I mean? So I'm saying she has like no human compassion. I mean, that's what I mean. It's not about she owes it to them.
Yeah, I don't really think she's in touch with
don't you
reality.
Think that's shitty though?
There's one star I'm trying to remember. I think it's maybe Sandra Bullock. I could be wrong because this is kind of off the cuff, but who's brother or sister has been like in and out of rehab and like struggling forever and they're estranged. Yeah, so these kind of stories, I don't know. I'm kind of like lurking in the middle. If I had that much money, I don't know what I would do with it. I can't say what I would and wouldn't do, but you know.
Well, I can because I have a heart.
If you weren't there when I needed you, you know, why should I be there when you need me?
That's the point, Christian. It's not about why you should. It's about being a compassionate human being. That's what it means to be compassionate and to be caring and to be have integrity. In my opinion, this is how I see it: is to do things for others when you don't have to do it. When you're not required to, or even if you shouldn't have to do it. You know what I mean? And so for me, it just shows a lack of character, and it makes me not like her a lot less. What about you, Jason? What do you think about
that? Here's my thing. If I have an estranged brother or sister and I, don't talk to them or, that type of thing, that's fine. But I feel like me personally, my conscience would eat me alive if I knew that I had a brother or sister that was dying and I didn't do anything about it as far as contributing some type of money to help them or
and we're not talking about
medication or whatever.
And I'm not talking about a brother, an estranged brother, sister, father, mother, whatever, or family member of some sort, or seventh cousin or whatever that comes to you and says, can you buy me a Lexus? You know what I mean? I mean, that's different. Right. I don't mean that. I mean someone who's like life or death. They really can't afford it. You have the money. It's like pocket change to you. Then I think that it's a good thing to do, and I guess Christian just doesn't have a heart. He's a hearted goal,
I mean, I would do
it. That's not true. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Oh, are you?
I would do it.
I would do it too. So anyway, my point is, I kind of makes me like her a little less now. Now, what was your story about Mariah?
Well, there are more reasons not to like her because Mariah Carey has announced a new documentary series, and they're making it very clear that this is not a reality show.
So what the fuck is it?
But it's on E. It's a docuseries.
That's a reality.
Kind of like I Am Kate type deal?
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. So it is a docuseries on the E network. It is not a reality show.
What?
She said, I refuse to call it a reality show on the New York Times. I thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of like show my personality and who I am, even though I feel like my real fans have an idea of who I am. So essentially, people aren't coming to see her in Vegas because everyone thinks she's a bitch. So she wants to show off her personality a little bit more.
I don't know. I just feel like when you say docuseries, I feel like you're just saying that it's, to me, in my mind, I feel like it's just like an edited reality show.
Well, a docuseries what it really supposed to be is a documentary that it's basically a documentary that is serialized, meaning it's like a documentary over several different episodes. But a reality series to me is following someone in their life, day-to-day life or whatever, which is what this is doing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a reality show.
It's a reality show.
That's a reality show. That's what it is, dumb bitch. Anyway.
Well, what do you think about, I mean, to me, to be honest, it's rumored right now that Britney Spears is supposedly working on a reality show. Mariah's working on a reality show. I think if you're like at this point and of your legiancy of being a pop artist, that, to me, does that not tarnish your reputation? Tarnish what you have?
I think it means that their stars have faded and that they need to stay relevant somehow. And to be relevant these days, having a reality show is one way to do that. And so I think that's why they're doing it. And especially, like, how much do you really hear about Britney Spears anymore or Mariah Carey? You know, you don't really hear much about them, especially since they don't make music very, very often anymore.
Well,
so.
I've always said that once, you know, you hit a certain point and once you start doing reality shows, especially if you're someone like Britney Spears and Mariah Carey,
right,
your career's over.
I don't think it's over. I just think
in my mind, I think it's over.
Okay.
That's the same thing with like Sierra, for example. It's like I haven't bought an album from her since 2006. So it's like, and now the music that she does come out with it doesn't sell.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm just like, the only thing she's got going on, she's dating Russell, whatever his name is.
Don't you think also that part of it? I mean, I see it this way. I don't know if y'all do, but when a superstar goes on a reality show, which doesn't happen very often, but I guess it's happened. I'm trying to think of an example, but anyway, a reality show, to me, it kind of takes away some of the mystique about their stardom and their persona, and so I think that takes away from their sales as well, because I think people aren't as interested anymore. It's like, you know, once you've pop their cherry, it's like, okay, I know who you are now, whatever. I don't like you, or I do like you, and you're not that interesting to me anymore, whatever. And so their music doesn't sell as much, or that's just my opinion. I don't know, it's true, but that's what I think.
Yeah, it's like it takes away the fantasy of it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, you see Santa Claus like smoking behind the mall. You know, it just takes away the
yeah,
you know, the illusion, the fantasy.
And if you think about the major stars, whether they're musicians or actors or whatever, I mean, most of them, in my opinion, they don't do those sorts of things, and I think that's one of the reasons they stay on top a lot of the times is because they have that mystique about them. You know,
right.
And even with all of the paparazzi and the media and the reality and everything we have going on, and we know so much about stars, there's still a lot we don't know because they don't allow us to know. And I think that makes them more interesting to us. But I don't know. It's kind of stupid, but I think it's the truth. So
it's the mystery.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so what about this celebrity nude photo scandal?
Okay, so you guys remember probably about a year and a half ago when all those like celebrity photos just started like leaking, and it was like Jennifer Lawrence and all these other celebrities and their nude photos.
Yeah.
And it was this big deal, and every day it was like one after the other. Kate Upton, Victoria Justice. Well, after lots and lots of research, reports, and trials, tribulations, blah, 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 Ryan Collins from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, used his email to hack into hundreds of Apple and Google accounts of celebrities between November 2012 and September 2014. So by doing this, he was able to find all the information in the photos and then leak them onto the internet, sold them to the tabloids, all that stuff. Well, he has reached a plea deal with prosecutors, and he will be facing jail time for 18 months, which is a year and a half. Do you guys think that what do you guys think about the length of time for a privacy crime such as this?
I think that's sufficient. I don't think it's not like he killed someone, and it's not like he, stole money or whatever. I think it's sufficient. I think it's not overkill, and I think it's not underkill. I think it's just right. So that's what I think.
Yeah, the statement that the assistant director of FBI released, he wrote, by illegally accessing intimate details of his victims' personal lives, Mr. Collins violated their privacy and left many to contend with lasting emotional distress, embarrassment, and feelings of insecurity.
That's probably true. Think about if somebody hacked y'all's computers. what would they find?
Well, yeah, no.
You know, I mean, and even if it's nothing scandalous,
I understand. I totally understand. I'm not saying by any means that like what he did was right.
I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just saying that I understand how the victims feel. I mean, if people came in and looked at your computer or whatever, your iPhone, whatever, and all the stuff, and it may not even be anything scandalous or wrong. It could just be things that you don't want the whole fucking world to know. You know. And that's completely cool and understandable. So I would feel very violated as well, and I would want him to go to prison. So good for him. Good for them.
It's almost like I actually kind of forgot about that whole story. So this kind of like coming back up again, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that Jennifer Lawrence was on her couch spread eagle.
Now you guys know, Madonna's been on her Rebel Heart tour, for a while, and she's like, she was just in what the fuck's it called, Asia, whatever. Anyway, now she's like in Australia, and now she's doing this thing called Tears of a Clown, and it's like it's not even Rebel Heart related. It's just side things she's doing. And anyway, in it she's playing a character, this clown, and she does a lot of ballads and sad songs of her repertoire. Anyway, and these reporters and people are all saying that she's now drunk on stage and or on drugs and all this other stuff because she's like, don't people fucking know what a character is or get what art is?
Well, and that's the thing, like her too, especially because she's so art driven and like that doesn't surprise me. It's like she's an actress. It's the whole deal. So
she's a performance artist. That's what she's always been. I guess people
don't understand the fact that it's not a pop concert. It's more of like a theatrical experience.
Yeah, it's kind of avant-garde, actually, in a way. Yeah. And so, anyway, people are like losing their minds at saying she's drunk and everything else. But have you ever seen anybody that you find or like you love to watch, like a star or a singer or whatever, and seen them in a messy way, like drunk or whatever, like somebody you just love? Who do you guys love?
Britney Spears.
You love Britney Spears? Okay.
I've seen her. Well,
you've got your once. Share then, because that
I just seen her messy like once or twice, not much.
Okay. What about you, Jason?
Back in the day when I did like Mariah Carey, I remember she was at some award show and she went to go accept an award and she was like completely wasted.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, and
speaking of that, her brother says that she has a major drinking problem ever since she had that surgery or whatever. Did she have a back surgery?
I believe it.
Or something.
I believe it because every time you see her, she has a bottle of champagne or something.
Yeah, and she drinks constantly.
She went to go do a radio show at 8 a.m. in New York City, and she had a glass of wine in her hand.
Oh, I believe it. So, yeah, anyway. And that kind of sad. It's kind of sad, but anyway.
I'm like, she had a whole entourage. I'm like, bitch, really? I'm like, this bitch is drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, well, everybody ain't able.
Now, what's going on? Well, go ahead. What? Oh, what's going on with Sherry Shepherd and Lamar Sally? That's her ex-husband, right?
Oh, right. So, as you know, Sherry Shepherd and Lamar Sally had a baby through a surrogate or whatever. According to legal documents, Sherry Shepherd is still considered the mother to the child. Lamar Sally has primary custody of the child, but Sherry Shepherd has come out and says that, she didn't want to have anything to do with them or him rather. But I guess when she said him, I'm assuming people meant the child too, because she really hasn't had any type of interaction with the child. Mm-hmm. So, Lamar Sally came out with a statement just the other day, and I guess he was being interviewed, and he asked him, what are his thoughts on Sherry Shepherd. And I guess I'm paraphrasing here, but it was something to the regards like, well, I don't know because she's never around. She just left me with a child that I'm taking care of. And he said something to the quote of, I'm paraphrasing, like, what type of woman does that or something like that. And people just kind of got on, it was like defending Sherry and was like, well, something about, he was, he got with Sherry while she was on The View and he wasn't working. And, he kind of pretty much kind of like tricked her into having a child or something so he can get child support from her because Sherry's paying him child support.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. I said, if anything, they are both at fault because I remember this, when Sherry Shepherd was on The View and she announced that she was engaged to Omar Sally,
Yes.
she said on national television that this motherfucker was not working, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, she said that he was a writer or he did stuff for,
Producer or something, yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't he didn't have a job that was,